Now, some of the hosts in Fox News really want you to stop freaking out about Trump Care's deep, deep cuts to Medicaid. And the fact that, of course, according to the CBO report that recently came out, the fact that 22 million people will be thrown off their health insurance. Now, since the CBO has come out with these disastrous numbers, Republicans have had a lot of different excuses. From Kellyanne Conway saying that, oh, on the Medicaid cuts, well, they're not actually cuts. We're not cutting Medicaid at all. No, we're just slowing down the growth of Medicaid. That means it's not an actual cut. These people who are going to lose their coverage, that's okay. They can get jobs with health insurance just like I do. Now, you also have Paul Ryan out there that was saying that of those 22 million people that are losing insurance, well, look, there's a large percentage of them, especially the 15 million that are going to lose coverage under Medicaid. Well, they didn't want insurance anyway, which is ridiculous. Of course they want insurance. I mean, who wants insurance? Who wants insurance, right? It's not like people get sick or anything. That's what Paul Ryan's thinking. I mean, what kind of moron gets insurance, right? Seriously. No, it turns out a lot of people actually do like having insurance. They like having access to healthcare. Now, that's why Obamacare is actually more popular than ever, and why single payer is more popular than ever. Most of the country, over half the country, is ready for a single payer healthcare system. They are ready for a government-run, single payer Medicare for all system. But these guys at Fox News, and of course, I'll get to the Fox News in a minute, but Paul Ryan and Kellyanne Conway and all these people speaking for the Trump administration, like, insurance? Why would you want insurance? I know, right? Now, going to Fox News, you have Elisa Kennedy Montgomery, right, who is now going to come up with another talking point to justify these cuts and slam the Democrats who were rightly pointing out that, hey, man, a lot of these people who are going to lose their coverage, well, they're going to die. I mean, take a look at this.
Thousands of people, Bernie Sanders says, Pelosi says hundreds of thousands, Kennedy, Schumer says, hey, 1 to 2,000.
You know what? At least they're not employing any hyperbole at all. No exaggeration, no hysteria. You know what the crazy thing is? We're all going to die. And they can't predict. There's no way, unless they're absolutely psychic and have a party line to heaven, they don't know who's going to die or when or how many people. I mean, that is such a fool's errand trying to quantify something that serious and grave.
Hey, you know what the crazy thing is? You're a dumbass. And you have no idea what you're talking about. No, this is crazy. See, her argument is, hey, man, why do you need health insurance? You're just going to die anyway. I mean, come on. You can't actually predict when you're going to die. So it's so stupid that the Democrats are talking about how many people that are actually going to die. We can't quantify that number. Well, first of all, I'll get to that. But to the point, well, then what's the point of getting insurance at all if you're going to just, if we're all going to die at some point and don't need it? That's ridiculous. Now, as for her saying that you can't quantify the numbers, no, we actually do have some numbers, and I'm going to go over them with you. Now, to be fair, that some of the estimates on this do range, and they do point that out, and they're making fun of it. But at the bare minimum, and this is what they refuse to tell you, the bare minimum, experts are saying that tens of thousands of people will actually die annually as a result of losing their health insurance coverage. Now, what did they base this information on? Well, all they have to do is go back and look at what happened before the ACA. That seems like a sensible thing to do. You go back and see what happened before, and then you compare it to what, the changes that you're going to make in this future healthcare bill, which would take away some of those protections. All right, so now back before the ACA was passed, the U.S. saw about 45,000 people die each year because they did not have access to healthcare. Those are numbers, right? That's a fact. Yes, Lisa Montgomery, or Lisa Kennedy Montgomery, or whatever the hell your name is. We can quantify that, and we have quantified that. We can say that without a doubt that people can and will die if they do not have access to health care. It makes sense. Only somebody who's either completely a complete idiot or someone who's completely morally bankrupt and does not care about these people will go on and say something like, oh, yeah, well, you know what's crazy is we're all going to die anyway, so what's the point of complaining about people that are getting kicked off their health insurance or getting kicked off Medicaid, which helps the poorest of the poor, the people that can't afford insurance. Instead, what she's doing, all these people are doing, is that they're saying that since we're going to die anyway, why do you liberals have to go and freak out? Why do you have to point out that stuff? I mean, we're fine with you dying. We're fine with poor people dying. We don't care. Well, actually, we do care. And a lot of the American people who are going to be facing this do care. So, yeah, that's who cares about it. Now, I also love, and this wasn't in the video, but earlier in the segment, Eric Bolling was saying, hey, man, how are we supposed to actually have a dialogue and fix some of these problems if the Democrats are going to use this crazy over-the-top rhetoric and telling that people are actually going to die, which is factually true. I just showed you the numbers. Speaking of rhetoric, right? And she laughed. She's like, "Oh, I'm glad they're not out there using hyperbole." Well, do you not remember the rhetoric the right used during the Obamacare debate? Well, maybe some of you don't, but if you don't remember, or if you do, you might remember hearing about death panels, right? Now, the government is going to put a board that's going to, you know, and there was a board, yes, but it wasn't what they were saying it was. They were saying that this board was going to decide, they're going to step in between you and your doctor and decide that, no, we're not going to treat you, we're going to let you die because you're not worth treating because we got to save this money. Death panels. They screamed death panels. They said, oh, the Obamacare is going to come and kill grandma. And not only is it going to come kill grandma with the death panels, it's also going to kill freedom and America. Yeah. Speaking of rhetoric, there was somebody, I believe it might have been Ben Carson, and it might not be, but who compared Obamacare to slavery. Oh, you want to talk about over-the-top rhetoric? You want to talk about rhetoric? Come on, come on. You know your rhetoric was far, far worse. But no, these people, they're so fucking brazen with their hypocrisy. It knows no bounds. They will go to no length to try to become morally superior when they know they are not on the side of moral superiority. They're actually hideous people with a hideous ideology and a terrible plan that is actually going to kill thousands of people. And they're over here trying to justify it. And they're over here trying to downplay it. When we rightly point out these facts and say, yes, there will be people that are going to die from lack of access to healthcare. They laugh about it. And then they say, oh, you got to tone down your rhetoric, Democrats. You're getting a little hyperbolic there. Come on. Again, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.